Well, hello chatters. Hi, welcome to the stream. How are you guys doing today? My name is Quimby and I am feeling good today. I'm feeling great. It's Saturday. I'm going to a play later today. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a fun, awesome, good time. I'd like to extend congratulations to Jayshu for getting the first Eternal Points award. Very cool. Say Penny was first. Well, that's lying, but I mean... Congrats Penny for getting first? I don't know. Okay, Jayshu. Good morning, Gamer Nation. Good morning, Breadbot. Yeah. Good morning, morning gamer. Good Nation. This is CandyBot. Gamer Nation. Good morning. Can we make me clean my room? Corpagay. Room. Cleaning. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Listen. I'll be straight up serious with you right here. You gotta do it. Take a look around this place. You think this is all right? You think this is okay? Get cleaning. Go. That's all you do is motivation. That's the route that I went. You know, oh, bless. Bless. What if I tell you that I'll be very sad and disappointed if you don't? And I'll be so sad. I'll say no, wait, no, oh no. And that's what'll happen. This is proficient that fixing her. Okay, yeah, okay. Good, we got it. We got it. Nice. Chatters, we did it. We're bullying. High five. Okay. We're gonna be fishing today. We're gonna be fishing on MCC Island. I'm hoping to get closer to level 20 today. I want to unlock a new location. I think that would be pretty neat. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm also hoping to get some good upgrades. If my grottos would fix, that would be great. If my grotto would fix, that would be fantastic. I would be so thrilled. I would love that a lot actually. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll see how it is when we get into the game. But yeah, moving towards level 20, trying to get some upgrades and things, and that is the end of our intro section. So let's turn on the fishing playlist. Switch scene right now before Breadball has time to restart the jump.
A tree!
A tree! Oh my gosh, where? This is so scary. I can't believe this. Can't believe that there would be a tree. That's so spooky. I'm seriously considering sending a bug report if my grottos are still broken. Like, it's probably a good idea to do it anyway, huh? Oh, it's probably a good idea. Oh man. Ah! This is unfortunate. You know, we're actually going to the Verdant Woods. There's a glimmering tide in here, and I want to see if I can find anything from it. When's the Hypixel stream? When I clean up my Hypixel and everything. Ooh. We've got some guys here. Ooh, a glimmering spirit, nice. 5 rough pearls, not too bad. Nice. I think we're getting some new guys as part of this. Yep, the pinky toe crabs and the floral crabs. And also the fungal crab. New guys this drop. Skyblock stream. If I get things cleaned up, we'll see. We'll see about that one. All right. Well, we've gotten ourselves some angler tokens. How do you do? Is it slash bug report? Click here to submit this report. Student reports while issues are present, not afterward. Let's copy the clipboard. Okay, let me see how this works. bug on MCC Island. Alright. Oh, that's work. They want screenshots. That's a lot of work. I don't know if we've got screenshots in us. Okay, but I just want to see if people on the internet know anything about it. I just want to people. Oh, I just want to know if people know anything. I just want to know. Hold on. I'm looking to see if the people on Reddit are aware. Also, there's a second dog at my house today. They're fine. Don't worry about it. They might bark though. Why is this not taking me to the actual post I'm looking for? They are... Oh, fishing grotto bug. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, they just say that they're looking into fixing the issue. RIP. Okay. Oh, Nyx, Liebeshund. Pokeball Go. Wait, wrong game. Hi. Yeah. I've actually never played a Pokemon game in my life. We are fishing today. I was just looking something up. Sorry, because I've encountered a rare bug in my fishing endeavors. Where there's you can unlock like these places called grottos, like cool little spots. I've unlocked it theoretically. It's not working, so it's fine. This music is whimsical. I found a big old playlist of fishing music, of like fishing video game music. Plus 20% glimmering hook. You know what? I will take it. I will take it. What's our overclock right now? You know what? Let's set things to Pearl mode. I don't know why, if I just do this different Asina. Sort of like ritual. Oh well, Jayshu yeeted Nyx Liebeshund. That's unfortunate. No, and Jayshu also got yeeted. That's, you know what? That seems fair and reasonable to me. That seems very fair. Oh, yep. Oh, wait, no, Jayshu's retaliating. Oh, gosh. It's a yeet war? Oh, no. Oh, no, what has been unleashed on us today? This is so sad. But yeah, we're out here, we're out here with the Glimmering Tide, trying to see if we can get ourselves some pearls. 'Cause I need polished pearls pretty desperately at this point in my gaming experience. I mean, I guess I could try to save up Angler tokens to get my rod overclock, or to try to upgrade my hook overclock more, but I think I need polished pearls for the hook overclock. This is so sad. See? Take this belt down. Whatever. Fighting evil by moonlight. Winning love by daylight. I don't know the song that well. Never runs from a real fight. She is the one called Sailor Moon. I have never seen a full episode of Sailor Moon. I've read like the first 3 issues of the manga. But I don't think I've ever watched any Sailor Moon. Very extreme measures. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh man. Oh gosh. Nyx Liebeshund picked the wrong house and got hit with a bat by Jayshu. This is so sad. This is so sad. I can't believe this. See, I mean, we could... Yeah, see, I need 5 polished pearls to upgrade my overclock. This is frankly unreasonable conditions. I don't know why they're doing this to me in particular. I don't know. I don't know why why'd they do that? Oh gosh, I do not know the tune for this part, so I'm going to read it aloud like it's poetry. She will never turn her back on a friend. She is always there to defend. She's the one who you can depend. she's the one they call Sailor Moon. It's a good thing I'm a demon. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Yeah, that is some good news. Exterminate. Sorry, I don't think there's an exterminate command, but I saw the word and immediately had I was into Doctor Who back during like the Chris Eccleston, David Tennant era, when it was like new coming back out and stuff, and I gotta say, this the settle down pause. Oh, I love the settle down pause. But yeah, so I was into Doctor Who all that time ago. I forgot to repair my crab pot. Sorry, excuse me. I need to. Okay, when I'm next in town, I will repair my crab pots. Exercise. Bless those that get blocked. Oof. Oh wait. Oh, bless. What was I saying? Yeah, so I was into Doctor Who when it was first coming back out. It was very scary to me at the time. I think there's some things about it that still hold up as being very scary. But like, no, just at the time that I was watching it, I was like so genuinely terrified of everything that was happening in the show. But it was fun. It was enrichment in my enclosure. Now, I remember, because we get this enough on VRChat, it would be Trolls Reminders. I cuss not because they throw insults at me for being a demon furry. I'm not taking it from you too, sorry. You know what? Fair and reasonable. Fair and reasonable. Whoa, my brain just blanked out on thoughts. I think we do mostly try to keep it silly goofy around here, but you know, if the silly goofy's not silly goofing for everyone, then absolutely dialing it back is the right decision. You paint to make like 50 more commands. This might not yet let me make them. Bless. I don't know though, Jishu. You've already got a yeet and a kill command, and a vibe check command. Oh, frogs. Nice. Alright. Let's see if I can make frogs happen while fishing at the same time. Alright. We've got the text already set up. Frogs are brought to you today by Jishu. And the frogs are just going to be hanging out while I catch fish in the background. Oh, that's not really easy to see the frogs text. Hang on, let me... Nope, that's still not very easy to see. Ah! Frogs. 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 First of all, I want more frogs. So you're gonna pop out here for now? My blood's up and I wanna go chill out before I make a fool of myself? Yeah, no worries. Okay, the frogs also have decided that they're done. So there's that then. Thank you for the frogs, Jishu. Much appreciated. Very pog. I think I've only caught one pearl so far, and I did get the pearl magnet on it, but I don't know. It just would have been nice, you know. Would have been cool. But we persevere. We stay winning forever. By that I mean we keep fishing forever. What about backstab after a long period of tension, eventually leading to a climax of characters battling out in an epic fight to decide the fate of the story? The possibilities. Think of every time I have to read that. Think of every time I gotta say those words aloud. Goodness. I could see. Oh. Forest cod. You know, forest cod, massive weight times 2 is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing at all to sneeze at right there. Think about the possibilities of getting got by a goose, though. That's my vote. If we get another command ever is having a goose. It'd be in goose time. We can summarize it. I guess, but consider getting got by a goose. That I think is thematic. That would be thematic and cool. Oh gosh. Balapoto taco bio I if thoughts. That I think that's worse. And I'm gonna be real, I think that's worse. Just rolls off the tongue. I would be crying. Is that what you want, Jisha? You want me to be crying? You want me in tears? Come on, give me a fishing spot, please. A cool fishing spot with glimmering. That's not a cool fishing spot. That just has 10% strong hook. Which is not nothing. It's just not what I want right now. Wise and fish magnet. Oh, I'll take this. I'll absolutely take this. Glimmering hook and pearl magnet. Yes, please. Yes, please, and thank you. It is, I don't think I can adequately describe just how devastated I am at my lack of grotto time. I feel as though I've been cut off from the world. I feel as though I've been denied something intrinsic to my experience here on this fishing planet. But it is what it is. We persevere. No, but yeah, what about joust? Ooh, jousting. Oh, jousting could be fun with like a 50-50 chance of who unseats the other in the joust. That would be cool. That could be a fun way of deciding disputes. That could be kind of neat. Alright, I've only got so much time left on this Glimmering Tide. You know, sometimes it's just not meant to be. It's not. I got a couple pearls. You know, I can be happy with that. I can be content with my experience there. But you know, sure would have been nice. Watch us at just the very last second we get. I don't think so at this point. Alright, a strong tide has begun on this island. I do want to check. Okay, they do have glimmering on the floral forest, but I think it's probably at this point better to be trying to get other things. I need polished pearls for this too. I need polished pearls for everything. What's up with that? I've only got so many regular pearls. Okay, well, let's find ourselves a strong fishing spot. Let's see what we can do about that. At the very least, I can try to rack up some angler tokens. That would be nice. Whoop, I see something strong hook over here. 20% strong hook, 10% fish magnet. I will take it. I will 3,000,000% take it. Steal. Blank has stolen Blank's vibe check. Blank has stolen Blank's copper. Not the copper! Oh, that would be so mean. Why would anyone ever steal copper? This is so sad. I can't believe this. It's devastating. It's tragic. I can't believe this. I'm gonna... Oh gosh, oh man. Oh gosh, oh man, oh gosh. Don't mind me, I'm still just mourning my lack of polished pearls. Oh! A wise spirit. Alright, alright. And a lost shoe. Every time I see they go to more than one bar, I'm like, oh, and then lost shoe. Truly, we live in a society. Oh gosh, chatters. Okay, sorry, I've remembered something, which is that so my book club got moved to tomorrow, which is why I won't be able to stream tomorrow. But I still need to finish the book. And this is not like I need to run off immediately to do it right now. That's just, I need to make sure that that's on my list of things that I'm doing today. Is that I finish my book. I've still got, how many pages? Hang on, after I catch my next fish, I'll go grab it and then we'll see. And then we'll see how far I have to go. Well, that wasn't a fish, but I'm doing it anyway. It was really just the next cast, I'm sure you understand. Okay. Howl's Moving Castle. Right here. If this book was not copyrighted, I would read it aloud to you guys. But the book is copyrighted, unfortunately. This is the cowboy book? No. No, this is Howl's Moving Castle. I don't think there are any cowboys in Howl's Moving Castle. It's about wizards. Let's see. She just went to Wales. And now I believe they're back from Wales, and she's talking to the king. Okay. Let's see. Me keeping one eye on fishing and one eye on trying to find my spot in the book. Not 100% human stream you're doing. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, friend, and welcome on in. Writing Howl's Moving Castle? No, I'm reading Howl's Moving Castle. Whoop. I'm on page 190. Okay. Okay, alright. Oh, I wish I could read this aloud to you guys. Oh, I thought you said writing. No. I'm reading Howl's Moving Castle. I might have said writing, because I do write other things. But, oh man. Thanks everyone. Nice. I watched the movie adaptation. I love the movie adaptation. It's very different from the book, but let's see. We leave like the last 5 pages to a chapter to read together at the book club. So let me figure out just how far I have to go. Special Pets, just my favorite streamer. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Okay, what? 5 pages B. There are 300. Oh. There are 329 pages in the book, so 5 pages would be to 324. The chapters are rather long, so it's probably not to the last chapter. Last chapter would be page 306. So probably... Oh, but that's like right in the middle of the climax or something. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to consider that, but I'm on page 190, so I have about 130, 140 pages left in the book. That's not too many. That's not too many pages. I can absolutely handle that today. It's, yeah, I can handle that. I really can. So genuinely, these pages run fast, they're pretty small. No, I do wish I could read it aloud to you guys. It's such a fun book, but then I suppose we'd have to begin from the beginning. And we can't really do that. Should I find something else to read to you guys while we do this? I'm sure that I have some books that are public domain on my bookshelf. Oh, should we? Oh. I'm sure I've got something. I'm sure I've got something I could read to you guys. Let's catch a fish and then... Oh gosh, oh, we're out of bait. Okay. You know what? First things first, let's hop back into town. Let's remember to repair my crab pot. Do I have anything? No, okay. We would like to repair my pot. Okay. Let's go ahead and put all of our fish in there. Yeah, like almost 6,000 tokens. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now let's just purchase a ton of bait. I don't remember what we're at anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get 2 more. Alright, there's that then, and let's find ourselves a new spot to fish at. Because that last one we were kind of running out on, so I figured it'll be better to find a new spot than to try to get back to it. When we'll work on the cube continue? When I next open up my Minecraft world, which I'm kind of getting the itch, so I imagine we might be heading out there pretty soon. You know, maybe once we're done with the fishing. I just gotta figure out if I want to update my world to a newer version first. That's certainly something that I'm looking into. Cause I'd love to use Amber in the Great Hall. So for that I'd want a creaking forest. But then I'd have to go looking for a creaking forest, and then my animals might start changing colors. Cause you know they're releasing all those updates where the animals have different colors. And I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for that yet. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for what that would entail. Okay, I'm also gonna take a quick look at my bookshelf to see if there's something I can read to you guys. I have like little house on the terrace. Oh my gosh, I've got Rose and Bloom. But I want to read 8 Cousins of the Ant Hill first. Fishing. Okay. I've got Hamlet. But I'm sure many of us have already read that. I could read some of Borges. Is Labyrinth public domain? Oh, but I don't think that's necessarily fishing stream material. Oh. I think mob variants and spawning changes were an overdue change. Yeah, I'm just not emotionally ready for it yet. Let's see what else I've got. I've got No Flying in the House, which is a fun one. That one I bet is... Oh, I bet that one's public domain, but I'd have to check. The Scarlet Pimpernel. Let's see what else I've got. I have Tales of Arabian Nights, but I don't think that's exactly what we're looking for. I've got a lot of costuming guide handbooks, but I think that those are definitely copyrighted. Let's see. I've got a bunch of fairy tales. What else? I have Treasure Island. Chad, should we read Treasure Island? I'm pretty sure Treasure Island is non-copyrighted at this, or not non-copyrighted, public domain. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna drink some water. Is this the abridged version or what? Let's see. Condensed and adapted by Nancy Fletcher Bloom. Okay, so this is an adapted version. What's Ginger Island? It's from... Did I say Ginger Island? Treasure Island. Treasure Island, the book by Robert Louis Stevenson. Okay, this one is Junior Classics for Young Readers, so it is an abridged version. Not the original, but But I don't know. Oh, I don't. Ooh. Let me just take a look inside of this. Okay. Okay, yep, considering that is an adaptation, it's got all rights reserved. All rights reserved. Written permission must be secured from the publisher to use or reproduce any part of this book except for brief quotations and critical reviews or publicity. Yep. Same time, storytime style. Okay, so Treasure Island isn't gonna work because I have an adapted version. What? Ooh. I'm tempted to look up to see if the if Eight Cousins or the Aunt Hill is available on like Project Gutenberg or something. That's a really good one. Okay, this fishing spot is depleted. I can no longer fish here. Let's find. Or I mean, I could look up Treasure Island on Project Gutenberg. I just want a real book in my hands, you know? I want a real book to be doing story time with. All right. You know, this seems like a pretty good spot to be. Okay. Let's figure out what we can do about that. So Treasure Island is gonna be a no-go. What classics do we have? I've got like an herb book, but I don't think that would be very fun to just be read aloud. I have a Sense and Sensibility. Oh my gosh, I have Pride and Prejudice. Not here. I'd have to run out and grab it. But I totally have Pride and Prejudice. It's ooh. Now that has potential. Now that's certainly potential. Ooh, Rough Pearl ×2. That's pretty nice actually. Okay, I think I'm gonna take another look at my bookshelf really quick to see if there's anything else that I want. Chatters, how would you guys feel about Pride and Prejudice though? I just want some opinions, but I'll take a look at my bookshelf again really quick. I mean, either that or I really could do Labyrinths. I think. Let me check. I've got the physical book here. Pride and Prejudice. What? Oh, the book by Jane Austen. All right, let me check. Because this is a translation too, which might have some issues. Okay, it's 92. 92, so this is probably copyrighted too still. Labyrinths would have been a fun one, but what you gonna do? I'm not for sec, sure. Alright, we're taking yet another look at the bookshelf just to make sure. I don't have anything else I really want to read. And I've got the Scarlet Pimpernel, but I read that recently. Oh, I have the Secret Garden. Read the Urban Dictionary? No. I have the Secret Garden. That could be fun. That could be a fun one to read aloud. Let me grab it and check some things. Okay. Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Let's see. Alright. Okay. First published 1911. Let me just look up on the internets. Is the Secret Garden public domain? Whoop, fish. Its copyright expired in the US in 1986 and most parts of the other world in 1995, placing the book in the public domain. Oh, chatters, do you wanna read The Secret Garden? We could totally read The Secret Garden while we're fishing. That could be neat. And then every so often I get distracted by gaming. Okay. Alright, let's open this up and get started. I guess content warnings for this first chapter. A whole bunch of people die of like a whole bunch of people die of illness, and a whole bunch of people die of illness, and also period typical racism. I do have to warn for that. It's the British colonization of India, and that's unsavory. But love gardens are a secret until they're written about in books like this one. Mm-hmm. But that part mostly is in the first chapter. And after that, I think it's mostly fine. It's one of those things where it is a classic, but you gotta be like, oh man. Oh man, that's an unsavory depiction of something. But alright, I think... Whoop. I think I listened to you read literally anything in jail. Oh, thank you. Alright. Let's get started then. Chapter 1. There's no one left. When Mary Lennox was sent to Misselthwaite Manor to live with her uncle, everybody said she was the most disagreeable-looking child ever seen. It was true, too. She had a little thin face and a little thin body, thin light hair, and a sour expression. Her hair was yellow and her face was yellow because she had been born in India and had always been ill in one way or another. Her father had held a position under the English government and had always been busy and ill himself, and her mother had been a great beauty who cared only to go to parties. Oh, hello! Oh, I told you guys this would happen every once in a while. We'd get distracted. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. How are we doing on... So I just wanted to check my fishing level and also research and stuff. Okay. Her mother had been a great beauty who cared only to go to parties and amuse herself with gay people. Sorry, I read that like gay with gay people. Welcome to the classics, everyone. She had not wanted a little girl at all, and when Mary was born she handed her over to the care of an ayah, who was made to understand that if she wished to please the Mem Sahib, she must keep the children out of sight as much as possible. So when she was a sickly, fretful, ugly little baby, she was kept out of the way, and when she became a sickly, fretful, toddling thing, she was kept out of the way also. She never remembered seeing familiarly anything but the dark faces of her ayah and the other native servants, and as they always obeyed her and gave her her own way in everything, because the Mem Sahib would be angry if she was disturbed by crying. Me too, bless. By the time she was 6 years old, she was as tyrannical and selfish a little pig as ever lived. The young English governess who came to teach her to read and write disliked her so much that she gave up her place in 3 months. Then when other governesses came to try and fill it, they always went away in a shorter time than the first one. So if Mary had not chosen really to want to know how to read books, she would never have learned her letters at all. I heard was amuse yourself with gay people from the past 5 minutes? Yeah, that's fair. I do want to check really quick the tides. Okay, we've got a strong wind, greedy and lucky. I think we're gonna... Oh, here's... Sorry, looking something to hold my place in the book. I think we are gonna head to Floral Forest. We'll get back to the secret garden in just a minute. Nice! We are making our way in the world with tokens. Let's see. We've got an elusive fish chance. Let's go ahead and fish here at this wise spot. I think that sounds like a good idea. Oh, pennies come online. Secret garden gonna get automodded. This is so sad. I can't believe that Automod hates the secret garden. One frightfully hot morning when she was about 9 years old, she awakened feeling very cross, and she became crosser still when she saw that the servant who stood by her bedside was not her ayah. "Why did you come?" she said to the strange woman. "I will not let you stay. Send my ayah to me." The woman looked frightened, but she only stammered that the ayah could not come, and when Mary threw herself into a passion and beat and kicked her, she only looked more frightened and repeated that it was not possible for the ayah to come to Missy Sahib. There was something mysterious in the air that morning. Nothing was done in its regular order, and several of the native servants seemed missing, while those whom Mary saw slunk or hurried about with ashy and scared faces. Wow. But no one would tell her anything, and her Aya did not come. She was actually left alone as the morning went on, and at last wandered out into the garden and began to play by herself under a tree near the veranda. Oh, there goes my common line. Let me just... Oh, and I totally forgot to equip the bait. That's silly of me. Okay. Began to play by herself under a tree near the veranda. She pretended that she was making a flower bed, and she stuck big scarlet hibiscus blossoms into little heaps of earth, all the time growing more and more angry and muttering to herself the things she would say and the names she would call Sadie when she returned. Pig. Pig. Daughter of pig, she said, because to call a native a pig is the worst insult of all. Thank you, 1880s. Disclaimer. I do not approve. She was grinding her teeth and saying this over and over again when she heard her mother come out on the veranda with someone. She was with a fair young man, and they stood talking together in low, strange voices. Mary knew the fair young man who looked like a boy. She had heard that he was a very young officer who had just come from England. The child stared at him, but she stared most at her mother. She always did this when she had a chance to see her. Oh, refined strong spirit. I will take it. Also, clothing research, and that is fishing level 17. Nice! Oh, fishing level 18. Sorry, we stay winning forever. Nice. Okay. Let's put pot overclock tier 1. Nice. Oh, I'm so distracted. Okay. She always did this when she had a chance to see her, because the Memsahib, Mary used to call her that oftener than anything else, was such a tall, slim, pretty person and wore such lovely clothes. Her hair was like curly silk, and she had a delicate little nose which seemed to be disdaining things, and she had large, laughing eyes. All her clothes were thin and floating, and Mary said they were full of lace. They looked fuller of lace than ever this morning, but her eyes were not laughing at all. They were large and scared and looked imploringly to the fair boy officer's face. Is it so very bad? Oh, is it? Mary heard her say. Awfully, the young man answered in a trembling voice. Awfully, Mrs. Lennox. You ought to have gone to the hills 2 weeks ago. Memsahib wrung her hands. Oh, I know I ought, she cried. I only stayed to go to that silly dinner party. What a fool I was. At that very moment, such a loud sound of wailing broke out from the servants' quarters that she clutched the young man's arm, and Mary stood shivering from head to foot. The wailing grew wilder and wilder. What is it? What is it? Mrs. Lennox gasped. Someone has died, answered the boy officer. Oh my gosh, a tree! This is so scary. You did not say it had broken out among your servants. I did not know, the Memsahib cried. Come with me, come with me! And she turned and ran into the house. After that, appalling things happened, and the mysteriousness of the morning was explained to Mary. The cholera had broken out in its most fatal form, and people were dying like flies. The Aya had been taken ill in the night, and it was because she had just died that the servants had wailed in the huts. Before the next day, 3 other servants were dead. Oh gosh, thank you. Thank you, Jashi, for the rickroll in the middle of everyone dying. Everyone dying. Rickroll. We stay silly forever. We stay silly forever and ever and ever. Alright. Let me guys know if you ever want to stop reading The Secret Garden. Keep me informed. Before the next day, 3 other servants were dead, and others had run away in terror. There was panic on every side, and dying people in all the bungalows. During the confusion and bewilderment of the second day, Mary hid herself in the nursery and was forgotten by everyone. Nobody thought of her, nobody wanted her, and strange things happened of which she knew nothing. Mary only knew that people were ill and that she heard mysterious and frightening sounds. Once she crept into the dining room and found it empty, though a partly finished meal was on the table, and chairs and plates looked as if they had been hastily pushed back when the diners rose suddenly for some reason. The child ate some fruit and biscuits, and being thirsty she drank a glass of wine which stood nearly filled. It was sweet, and she did not know how strong it was. Very soon it made her intensely drowsy, and she went back to her nursery and shut herself in again, frightened by cries she heard in the huts and by the hurrying sound of feet. The wine made her so sleepy that she could scarcely keep her eyes open, and she lay down on her bed and knew nothing more for a long time. Many things happened during the hours in which she slept so heavily. I gotta change my... Okay. That's, 20% strong hook. I'll take it. I will take it. Okay. Where were we? Okay. Many things happened during the hours in which she slept so heavily, but she was not disturbed by the wails and the sounds of things being carried in and out of the bungalow. When she awakened, she lay still and stared at the wall. The house was perfectly still. She had never known it to be so silent before. She heard neither voices nor footsteps, and wondered if everybody had got well of the cholera and all the trouble was over. She wondered also who would take care of her now that her Aya was dead. There would be a new Aya, and perhaps she would know some new stories. Mary had been rather tired of the old ones. She did not cry because her nurse had died. She was not an affectionate child, and had never cared much for anyone. The noise and hurrying about and wailing over the cholera had frightened her, and she'd been angry because no one seemed to remember that she was alive. Everyone was too panic-stricken to think of a little girl no one was fond of. When people had the cholera, it seemed that they remembered nothing but themselves. But if everyone had got well again, surely someone would remember her and come look for her. But no one came, and as she lay waiting, the house seemed to grow more and more silent. She heard something rustling on the matting, and when she looked down, she saw a little snake gliding along and watching her with eyes like jewels. She was not frightened, because he was a harmless little thing who would not hurt her, and he seemed in a hurry to get out of the room. He slipped under the door as she watched him. "How queer and quiet it is," she said. "It sounds as if there's no one in the bungalow but me and the snake." Almost the next minute she heard footsteps in the compound, and then on the veranda. They were men's footsteps, and the men entered the bungalow and talked in low voices. No one went to meet or speak to them, and they seemed to open doors and look into rooms. "What desolation!" she heard one voice say. "That pretty, pretty woman. I suppose a child, too. I heard there was a child, though no one ever saw her." Mary was standing in the middle of the nursery when they opened the door a few minutes later. She looked an ugly, cross little thing, and was frowning because she was beginning to be hungry and feel disgracefully neglected. The first man who came in was a large officer she had once seen talking to her father. He looked tired and troubled, but when he saw her, he was so startled that he almost jumped back. "Barney!" he cried out. "There's a child here! A child alone! In a place like this! Mercy on us, who is she?" Ugh. Sorry, music wants me to pay attention to it too. Ugh. I'm juggling like 3 things. Don't worry about it. Okay. Who is she? "I am Mary Lennox," the little girl said, drawing herself up stiffly. She thought the man was very rude to call her father's bungalow a place like this. "I fell asleep when everyone had the cholera, and I've only just wakened up. Why does nobody come?" "It is the child no one ever saw!" exclaimed the man, turning to his companions. "She has actually been forgotten." "Why was I forgotten?" Mary said, stamping her foot. "Why does nobody come?" Storytime with Quimby. Storytime with Quimby. The young man, whose name was Barney, looked at her very sadly. Mary even thought she saw him wink his eyes as if to wink tears away. "Poor little kid," he said. "There's nobody left to come. Oh, there goes Penny." "Hi, Penny." "Is that Penny?" "Yep." It was in that strange and sudden way that Mary found out that she had neither father nor mother left, that they had died and been carried away in the night, and that the few native servants who had not died also had left the house as quickly as they could get out of it, none of them even remembering that there was a Missy Sahib. That was why the place was so quiet. It was true that there was no one in the bungalow but herself and the little rustling snake. Hey Penny, it's, I don't know if Penny's actually listening or anything, but story time out here. Chapter 2. Mistress Mary Quite Contrary. Mary had liked to look at her mother from a distance, and she had thought her very pretty, but as she knew very little of her, she could scarcely have been expected to love her or miss her very much, at all. In fact, and as she was a self-absorbed child, she gave her entire thought to herself, as she had always done. If she had been older, she would no doubt have been very anxious at being left alone in the world, but she was very young, and as she had always been taken care of, she supposed she always would be. What she thought was that she would like to know if she was going to nice people, who would be polite to her and give her her own way, as her Aya and the other native servants had done. She knew that she was not going to stay at the English clergyman's house where she was taken at first. She did not want to stay. The English clergyman was poor, and he had 5 children all nearly the same age, and they wore shabby clothes and were always quarreling and snatching toys from each other. Mary hated their untidy bungalow and was so disagreeable to them that after the first day or 2, nobody would play with her. By the second day, they had given her a nickname which made her furious. It was Basil who thought of it first. Basil was a little boy with impudent blue eyes and a turned-up nose, and Mary hated him. She was playing by herself under a tree, just as she had been playing the day the cholera broke out. She was making heaps of earth and paths for a garden, and Basil came in and stood near to watch her. Presently he got rather interested and suddenly made a suggestion. "Why Why don't you put a heap of stones there and pretend it is a rockery, he said. They're in the middle. And he leaned over to point. Go away, cried Mary. I don't want boys. Go away. Both of you two, some I'm not listening. Well, I just didn't know. Well, come on in, we're reading The Secret Garden. And fishing at the same time. For a moment, Basil looked angry, and then he began to tease. He was always teasing his sisters. He danced round and round her and made faces and sang and laughed. Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and marigolds all in a row. He sang until the other children heard and laughed too, and the crosser Mary got, the more they sang Mistress Mary, quite contrary. And after that, as long as she stayed with them, they called her Mistress Mary, quite contrary, when they spoke of her to each other, and often when they spoke to her. You are going to be sent home, Basil said to her, at the end of the week, and we're glad of it. I'm glad of it too, answered Mary. Where is home? She doesn't know where home is, said Basil with 7-year-old scorn. It's England, of course. Our grandmamma lives there, and our sister Mabel was sent to her last year. You are not going to your grandmamma. You have none. You are going to your uncle. His name is Mr. Archibald Craven. The madman is nibbling my ear currently. You good, Penny? You good? You good? I don't know anything about him, snapped Mary. I know you don't, Basil answered. You don't know anything. Girls never do. I heard Father and Mother talking about him. He lives in a great, big, desolate old house in the country, and no one goes near him. He's so cross he won't let them, and they wouldn't come if he would let them. He's a hunchback, and he's horrid. I don't believe you, said Mary, and she turned her back and stuck her fingers in her ears because she would not listen anymore. But she thought it over a great deal afterward. And my partner said that. Oh, bless. Well, hello to Penny's partner. I'm Quimby. We're currently reading The Secret Garden and fishing. And we have fun here. Alright. I am gonna fish at this lucky spot here, because, lucky, you know? Lucky tide. Let's change this to a lucky hook. And alright. Just because if we're fishing a lucky spot, we may as well have a lucky hook, you know? My roommate says hi, by the way. Oh, hi! Hello to roommate! I hope you're enjoying The Secret Garden, and also fishing. Let's see where we were. But she thought it over a great deal afterward, and when Mrs. Crawford told her that night that she was going to sail away to England in a few days and going to her uncle, Mr. Archibald Craven, who lived at Misselthwaite Manor, she looked so stony and stubbornly uninterested that they did not know what to think about her. They tried to be kind to her, but she only turned her face away when Mrs. Crawford attempted to kiss her, and held herself stiffly when Mr. Crawford patted her shoulder. She is such a plain child, Mrs. Crawford said pityingly afterward, and her mother was such a pretty creature. She had a very pretty manner, too, and Mary has the most unattractive ways I ever saw in a child. The children call her Mistress Mary, quite contrary, and though it's naughty of them, one can't help understanding it. Think I got them interested in jet lag? Oh, let's go. We love to see it. Oh, there goes the currents. Okay. So much moving around with all of this. Alright, yep, let's take 20%, sorry, 30% wise and 10% strong and 10% elusive fish chance. Let's switch over to a wise hook for this one, honestly, if we're going all in on wise. Alright. Perhaps if her mother had carried her... Sorry, wow, that was not the voice I wanted. Perhaps if her mother had carried her pretty face and her pretty manners often into the nursery, Mary might have learned some pretty ways, too. It is very sad now, the poor thing is gone, to remember that many people never even knew that she had a child at all. Can we pause story? I need to vacuum. Yeah, we can pause story for a second. Let me know when we're ready to resume. I'm just gonna be catching fish. So give me just a sec. Alright, we're back. Oh, and we got a glimmering spirit. Very nice. Thank you. I need to go to the library to return a book that I got. I should see if I can pick up 8 Cousins or The Aunt Hill, so I can read it to you guys, because that's one of my favorite books ever. That one's by Louise May Alcott, and it's the prequel to the book that I own, Rose and Bloom. And they're both very good. I prefer Rose and Bloom at this point, because I like what they did with the grown-up characters, and also there's a fun bit of tragedy in it. But Eight Cousins is so delightful. It's just a lovely little. It was a serial, so they had these characters, and then they'd just be going on their little adventures that they'd be doing. I don't think The Secret Garden was a serial ever. I suppose I don't know. Ooh, Flowerhorn Chiclet, let's go. I'd love to see it. Alright. I really wish I had some polished pearls right about now. You know what else I wish? I wish I had Grotto right about now. That would be pretty epic. I would be absolutely thrilled to have Grotto, but what you gonna do? It's fine. We stay silly forever. Don't even worry about it. Alright. DC Pack times 2 is not bad. It's not bad at all. I do wish that there had been a Place of the Strong Tide for these strong winds. That would have been pretty cool, but you know, the Lucky Tide isn't bad. I did get a refined spirit of some sort, and presumably that's going to be helpful for me in the future, which, you know, I'm very glad to have had that. Oh no, it's already happening. Chatters, I don't know if you can tell, but every time I start rereading classics, my language starts doing this, where I start throwing in things like I suppose, and I don't know, just the way that I speak gets all caught up in the classics that I'm reading, and it's fine. And we are chillin'. We're chillin' out. Don't even worry about it. It's not a problem. Oh, a rough pearl. That's nice. I do like getting rough pearls. If I get 10 of those, I can get a polished pearl. And I need a couple of those for many and various reasons. Tangled kelp. Yep. That's the tangled kelp for ya. We've only got a bit of time left with this tide. Oh, come on! 30 seconds and... 30 seconds and... out of a place to fish. Okay, well, for the, like, one catch that we'll get here, we'll switch to Strong Hook and see what we've got. See what we can get from it. Yeah, I see. Am I even gonna get a single catch from this? Oh, there we go. And it was a rusted can. Okay, we have a Wise Tide here now. A Glimmering Tide in the Verdant Woods. And I now should be having 3... I should be having 3 grotto visits. I'd better get 3 grotto visits when they patch this bug. I swear. If I don't, I'll be quite cross if I don't. Classics. It's those gosh darn crazy classics. What are some other good classics I could potentially read on the stream? I used to read a lot of old books when I was a lot younger. Oh, and Candybot wants me to drink water and do a little stretch. And you know what? Who am I to say no? Who am I to deny that of Candybot? So, you drink some water. Can we vacuum? Nice! I will do a little stand up and stretch in accordance with Candybot's request. Thank you, Candybot, for looking out for my health or something. So we will keep fishing, and then I will pull back open the secret garden. All right. Let's see. I believe she scarcely ever looked at her, said Mrs. Crawford. When her ayah was dead, there was no one to give a thought to the little thing. Think of the servants running away and leaving her all alone in that deserted bungalow. Colonel McGrew said he nearly jumped out of his skin when he opened the door and found her standing by herself in the middle of the room. Mary made the long voyage to England under the care of an officer's wife, who was taking her children to leave them in a boarding school. She was very much absorbed in her own little boy and girl, and was rather glad to hand the child over to the woman Mr. Archibald Craven had sent to meet her in London. The woman was his housekeeper at Misselthwaite Manor, and her name was Mrs. Medlock. She was a stout woman with very red cheeks and sharp black eyes. She wore a very purple dress, a black silk mantle with jet fringes on it, and a black bonnet with purple velvet flowers, which stuck up and trembled when she moved her head. Mary did not like her at all, but as she very seldom liked people, there was nothing remarkable in that. Besides which, it was very evident Mrs. Medlock did not think much of her. "My word, she's a plain little piece of goods," she said. And we'd heard her mother was a beauty. And we'd heard that her mother was a beauty. She hasn't handed much of it down, has she, ma'am? Perhaps she will improve as she grows older, the officer's wife said good-naturedly. If she were not so sallow and had a nicer expression, her features are rather good. Children alter so much. She'd have to alter a good deal, answered Mrs. Medlock. There's nothing likely to improve children at Misselthwaite, if you ask me. They thought Mary was not listening because she was standing a little apart from them at the window of the private hotel they had gone to. She was watching the passing buses and cabs and people, but she heard quite well and was made very curious about her uncle and the place he lived in. What sort of a place was it, and what would he be like? What was a hunchback? She had never seen one. Perhaps there were none in India. Since she had been living in other people's houses and had no ayah, she had begun to feel lonely and to think queer thoughts which were new to her. She had begun to wonder why she had never seemed to belong to anyone, even when her father and mother had been alive. Other children seemed to belong to their fathers and mothers, but she had never seemed to really be anyone's little girl. She had had servants and food and clothes, but no one had taken any notice of her. She did not know that this was because she was a disagreeable child, but then, of course, she did not know she was disagreeable. She often thought that other people were, but she did not know that she was so herself. Girls say, I know, right? She thought Mrs. Medlock the most disagreeable person she had ever seen, with her common, highly coloured face and her common, fine bonnet. When the next day they set out on their journey to Yorkshire, she walked through the station to the railway carriage with her head up and trying to keep as far away from her as she could, because she did not want to seem to belong to her. It would have made her very angry to think people imagined she was her little girl. But Mrs. Medlock was not in the least disturbed by her and her thoughts. She was the kind of woman who would stand no nonsense from young ones. At least, that is what she would have said if she had been asked. She had not wanted to go to London just when her sister Maria's daughter was going to be married, but she had a comfortable, well-paid place as a housekeeper at Misselthwaite Manor, and the only way in which she could keep it was to do at once what Mr. Archibald Craven told her to do. She never dared even to ask a question. Captain Lennox and his wife died of the cholera. Captain Lennox and his wife died of the cholera, Mr. Craven said in his short, cold way. Captain Lennox was my wife's brother, and I am their daughter's guardian. The child is to be brought here. You must go to London and bring her yourself. So she packed her small trunk and made the journey. Mary sat in a corner of the railway carriage and looked plain and fretful. She had nothing to read or to look at, and she had folded her thin little black gloved hands in her lap. Her black dress made her look yellower than ever, and her limp light hair straggled from under her black crepe hat. A more marred-looking young one I never saw in my life, Mrs. Medlock thought. Marred is a Yorkshire word and means spoiled and pettish. She had never... page turn and fishing at the same time. She had never seen a child who sat so still without doing anything, and at last she got tired of watching her and began to talk in a brisk, hard voice. I suppose I may as well tell you something about where you're going to, she said. Do you know anything about your uncle? No, said Mary. Never heard your father and mother talk about him. Oh, hello. Oh, lime soul times 2. Sweet. Wise research. How are you doing on everything else? Curiosity. Okay, we're doing all right. We're making it. Sorry, there's a lot going on here. Let's see. Never heard your father and mother talk about him? No, said Mary, frowning. She frowned because she remembered that her father and mother had never talked to her about anything in particular. Certainly they had never told her things. Humph, muttered Mrs. Medlock, staring at her queer, unresponsive little face. Stop. She did not say any more for a few moments, and then she began again. I suppose you might as well be told something. To prepare you. You're going to a queer place. Stop! Mary said nothing at all, and Mrs. Medlock looked rather discomfited by her apparent indifference, but after taking a breath she went on. Not but that's a grand big place in Gloomy Way, and Mr. Craven's proud of it in his way, and that's gloomy enough too. The house is 600 years old, and it's on the edge of the moor, and there's near 100 rooms in it, the most of them shut up and locked. And there's pictures and fine old furniture and things that's been there for ages. And there's a big park around it, and gardens and trees with branches turned to the ground, and some of them. She paused and took another breath. But there's nothing else, she ended suddenly. Mary had begun to listen in spite of herself. It all sounded so unlike India, and anything new rather attracted her. Girl, same, yeah. But she did not intend to look as if she were interested. That was one of her unhappy, disagreeable ways. So she sat still. Well, said Mrs. Medlock, what do you think of it? Nothing, she answered. I know nothing about such places. That made Mrs. Medlock laugh, a short sort of laugh. Eh, she said. But you are like an old woman, don't you care? It doesn't matter, said Mary, whether I care or not. You're right enough there, said Mrs. Medlock. It doesn't. What you're to be kept at Misselthwaite Manor for, I don't know, unless because it's the easiest way. He's not going to trouble himself about you, that's sure and certain. He never troubles himself about no one. She stopped herself as if she had just remembered something in time. He's got a crooked back, she said. That set him wrong. He was a sour young man and got no good of all his money in big place till he was married. Mary's eyes turned towards her, in spite of her intention to not to seem to care. She had never thought of the hunchback's being married, and she was a trifle surprised. Mrs. Medlock saw this, and as she was a talkative woman, she continued with more interest. This was one way of passing some of the time, at any rate. She was a sweet, pretty thing, and he'd have walked the world over to get her a blade of grass she wanted. Nobody thought she'd marry him, but she did, and people said she married him for his money. But she didn't, positively. When she died, Mary gave it a little involuntary jump. Oh, did she die? Yo, scoliosis gang, let's go. Did she die? She exclaimed, quite without meaning to. She had just remembered a French fairy story she had once read called Riquet à la Houppe. It had been about a poor hunchback and a beautiful princess, and had made her suddenly sorry for Mr. Archibald Craven. Yes, she died, Mrs. Medlock answered, and it made him queer than ever. Stop. He cares about nobody. He won't see people. Most of the time he goes away, and when he is at Misselthwaite, he shuts himself up in the west wing and won't let anyone but Pitcher see him. Pitcher's an old fellow, but he took care of him when he was a child, and he knows his ways. It sounded like something in a book, and it did not make Mary feel cheerful. A house with 100 rooms, nearly all shut up and with their doors locked. A house on the edge of a moor. Whatsoever a moor was, sounded dreary. A man with a crooked back who shut himself up also. She stared out of the window with her lips pinched together, and it seemed quite natural that the rain should have begun to pour down in grey slanting lines and splash and stream down the window panes. If the pretty wife had been alive, she might have made things cheerful by being something like her own mother, and by running in and out and going to parties. Oh, depleted spot. And going, to parties as she had done in frocks full of lace. But she was not there anymore. Alright, let's find a new fishing spot. That's 10% strong hook and fish magnet. I'm not running low on bait or anything, am I? Oh, I mean, my common line's about to break, but I've got a couple of those. Let's see. What have we got? I can feel the secret garden language stealing into my stealing into my words. This always happens anytime I read something like this. Alright. You needn't expect to see him, because 10 to 1 you won't, said Mrs. Medlock, and you mustn't expect that there'll be people to talk to you. You'll have to play about and look after yourself. You'll be told what rooms you can go into and what rooms you're to keep out of. There's gardens enough, but when you're in the house, don't go wandering and poking about. Mr. Craven won't have it. Whoop. I shall not want to go poking about, said sour little Mary, and just as suddenly as she began to be rather sorry for Mr. Archibald Craven, she began to cease to be sorry, and to think he was unpleasant enough to deserve all that had happened to him. And she turned her face toward the streaming panes of the window of the railway carriage, and gazed out at the grey rainstorm which looked as if it would go on forever and ever. She watched it so long and steadily that the greyness grew heavier and heavier before her eyes, and she fell asleep. Going chronically insane. Aw, bless friend. I'm sorry to hear that you're going chronically insane. That's unfortunate. That is big sad to hear. You're in... Absolutely feel free to tell us more. I'll answer as it comes. In the meantime, we're on Chapter 3, Across the Moor. She slept a long time, and when she awakened, Mrs. Medlock had bought a lunch basket at one of the stations, and they had some chicken and cold beef and bread and butter and some hot tea. The rain seemed to be streaming down more heavily than ever, and everybody in the station were wet and glistening waterproofs. The guard lighted the lamps in the carriage, and Mrs. Medlock cheered up very much over her tea and chicken and beef. She ate a great deal, and afterwards fell asleep herself. Then Mary sat and stared at her and watched her fine bonnet slip on one side until she herself fell asleep once more in the corner of the carriage, lulled by the splashing of the rain against the windows. It was quite dark when she awakened again. The train had stopped at a station, and Mrs. Medlock was shaking her. "You have had a sleep," she said. "It's time to open your eyes. We're at the Thwaite station, and we've got a long drive before us." Oh, hello! Lauren Chicklid, 2-star times 2. Don't mind if I do. Heck yeah. Is that worth tokens worth? Nice, okay. That's never the same after I was put in that white room with rats, and rats make me go insane. Oh, put you in a white room, a room with rats, and rats drive you crazy. I'm so sorry to hear this, friend. That's really so unfortunate. Insane? I was insane once. They put me in a room. It's a room with math, and math makes me go insane. Ooh, math. Math is also going to do it to you. That's, yeah. Math moment. This is what happens when you try to study 12 chapters in one day. Oof! That is, yeah, that's quite a good deal, to be studying all at once, isn't it? Bless, friend. I'm new to tweaking iron. Oof. I wish you had the best of luck with that. I hope, oof. I'll be having intrusive thoughts about punching someone. I think that you should try, I think you should try going on a little walk or something, or standing up and, like, doing a little stretcher exercise or something, because I when that happens to me, I find that some physical motion is very helpful. You gotta get it out of your system. Literally outside, it made it worse. No. Maybe you should punch someone then, just to see what happens. Oh, I want to check my upgrades, my perks tab. I want to see if there's anything that I can get. Nice and easy. Alright, what have we got? Pearl Chance! I need a Pearl Glimmering Spirit. Sorry, a pure Glimmering Spirit. That's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. Sorry, I'm also just looking through here to see if there's anything I can do without polished pearls. And really, there's just nothing that I can do without polished pearls. Devastating. And that's why there's a hole in my wall now. Slash J or slash serious friend? Slash J or slash serious hole in the wall? Yes. Well, you told me not to ask. You did tell me not to ask, so I probably just shouldn't, to be honest. Okay, this spot is depleted. We are going to head back into town. I just want to see if I have enough spirits to get a what was it? Which one do I need? A pure spirit. Okay. This is refined. How do you get pure? How do you get pure spirits? Hang on. How do you get pure spirits? I I have some regular spirits and some refined spirits. How on earth do you get? Do you have to fish those up? I've been asking this for millennia. There are a couple guys you can follow about it. Oh, so true. So true. Yes, Kobe? Yeah, Let me just look this up on the internet really quick. Your Glimmering Spirit MCCI. How do you... Okay. Okay, I wanna know about spirits. Tell me... No, I know there's grottos. I just wanna know about spirits. Ah! Coffee? Yeah, bless. Okay, wait. Okay. So, quest spirits. How do you... How? I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about the fishing spirits. Oh, it's not telling me. I wanna know. It won't tell me. You know, at like 900 miles an hour, that's yeah, that's a lot. I'm not even American. Oh gosh, yeah. Thinking at 900 miles an hour while not even being American, that is crazy. That's wild. Okay, well, they're not telling me anything about. Not telling me anything about the guys. How do you get the... How do you get them? How do you make that happen? This is mad sus. Also, I mean, I just got a Glimmering Spirit there. I need polished pearls for this. Okay, well, strong tide has begun on this island. That's pretty cool. No one's telling me how you get pure spirits, and it's kind of driving me wild. Oh, I like that. Although we did that, nice. Thank you for the boop, friend. Very pog. Alright, well, I need to try and find a good, strong fishing spot. And then... So that's plus 10%. That's for Glimmering and XP Magnet. Glimmering. Oh my gosh, you're so right about that. Going wild too, Kwame? Oh no. It's a madhouse out here. I can't believe this. Greedy hook. Yeah, honestly, honestly, this island's spawn might be driving me crazy. Why are there no good strong spots? Something to physically hold me and give me a suplex. Okay, no, you're so real, honestly. I talk all the time about how I think that I think that we as in the pursuit of quote-unquote civilized society, have been abandoning some natural human behaviors of wanting to wanting to, you know, wrestle and play fight and stuff. Crazy. I was crazy. Oh no. Ooh, that's a good spot to fish. That's a very good spot. Maybe it's a sign or I don't necessarily agree that we're doomed. I think there's it's never hopeless is what I think. Like, it's real, like it can be real bad. I don't think it's ever genuinely hopeless. Since we started, or obviously I'm substituting words and just unique kinds of it, and we've always been different about. In such a poetic way. Really though, very very poetic. I'm sorry I couldn't read that with my full chest. It was quite inspiring, in fact. Yep. But no, I mean, I've talked about it before, but guys, I am always fighting so hard to maintain my whimsy and joy and love of the world. Ask me how was my Saturday? Ooh, that's important. That's gotta happen. I'm gonna keep reading The Secret Garden. It is devastating. This is so sad. Oh gosh, I forgot that there's Yorkshire accents in this. Where we just left off, they've arrived at a station. Mrs. Medlock shook her awake. They've got a long drive before them. Mary stood up and tried to keep her eyes open while Mrs. Medlock collected her parcels. The little girl did not offer to help her because an Indian native servant always picked up or carried things, and it seemed quite proper that other people should wait on one. The station was a small one, and nobody but themselves seemed to be getting out of the train. The station master spoke to Mrs. Medlock in a rough, good-natured way, pronouncing these words in a queer, broad fashion, which Mary found out afterwards was Yorkshire. "I see thou's got back," he said, "and thou's brought the young un with thee." "Aye, that's her," answered Mrs. Medlock, speaking with a Yorkshire accent herself and jerking her head over her shoulder towards Mary. "How's thy missus?" "Well, no, the carriage is waiting outside for thee." The Yorkshire. Clean my room. Let's definitely bless. A brougham stood on the road before the little outside platform. Mary saw that it was a smart carriage, and that it was a smart footman who helped her in. His long waterproof coat and the waterproof covering of his hat were shining and dripping with rain as everything was, the burly station master included. When he shut the door, mounted the box with the coachman, and they drove off, the little girl found herself seated in a comfortably cushioned corner, but she was not inclined to go to sleep again. She sat and looked out of the window, curious to see something of the road over which she was being driven to the queer place Mrs. Medlock had spoken of. She was not at all a timid child, and she was not exactly frightened, but she felt that there was no knowing what might happen in a house with 100 rooms nearly all shut up, a house standing on the edge of a moor. "What is a moor?" she said suddenly to Mrs. Medlock. Over here. That'd be good though. They asked me who's this magpie. Bless. I'm glad they're asking after us. Get out the window in about 10 minutes and you'll see, the woman answered. "We've got to drive 5 miles across Missel Moor before we get to the manor. You don't see much because it's a dark night, but you can see something." Told them she's a guardian of the knowledge. Yo, let's go. We love guardians of knowledge. It's pretty epic. Mary asked no more questions, but waited in the darkness of her corner. Oh, come on! Chatters, I feel like the fishing doesn't want me to be reading The Secret Garden to you guys. I'm feeling attacked personally by I'm feeling attacked by the island not having eternal fishing spots for me to just sit and read while we're at it. It's just I tried to do it twice so much in like 4 hours. Oof. Oof. I mean, when yeah, friend, I get well soon, you know? That's kind of oof. Sorry, my brain is mush today for trying to split my attention. I should probably be focusing on things. Writing paper for school today, but still my room is clean. You know what? Genuinely progress on things. I need to read Howl's Moving Castle today, and also I actually need to vacuum my house. And I'm also going to a play. So chatters, it seems like all of us are just real busy right now. What's up with that? Who gave permission for this? For there being so much busyness in Chatbeat? Saraswati, Goddess of Knowledge, said you're pretty cool. Oh heck yeah! Oh heck yeah, we love to see it. You know what we don't love to see is the lack of a strong fishing spot. Sorry, that's just me though. That's just me. That's in there. Aww. Nice. Head pats. So there's nothing. There's nothing for me ever. Ah! Chatters, this is devastating. I mean, there's this spot, but I depleted it. Okay, there's the 10% strong, 10% fish magnet. It's not the greatest fishing spot ever, but that'll do. Oh, and I have Speedy Rod on, apparently. Speedy Rod moment. We stay speedy forever, I guess. Oh, I really want to know so bad how you get pure spirits. Me when I'm seeking out a world religion to join. I don't know. Because I can see that you can trade normal spirits for refined spirits, but how do you get pure? And presumably all the top upgrade categories are going to require them. So how on earth? The Kavaya God of Wealth said that you're always making money. Your question, Gold Quimby? I know I'm working for the man. I'm working for the economic systems, but we live in a society. We live in a society. I gotta do something. And I can keep doing improv with this one and streaming some days of the week, and I've got time to engage in my hobbies as well. Oh, chatters, that is the big question, is what I'm going to do with my life long term. Because you wanna know the problem? Do you guys and this isn't exactly a secret. I don't know, I'm looking around like I'm checking to see if anyone's listening to me telling a secret. Chatters. I cannot describe just how strong the allure of like the entertainment industry is. There's nothing wrong with the entertainment industry. Drinking actual mango juice? Oh, that sounds incredible. That sounds so good. I wish I had that. Also, I'm going to drink some water because I think Candy Pot's gonna tell me to do it real soon. Chatters. Working the bank. It's such a steady gig. There's like rules about me being bothered outside of work. For all intents and purposes, very good for many reasons. And I like things about it, but chatters. Just every time I like go to a play or something, every time I talk to my friends who are in the industry. Oh, common treasure ×2, that's nice. Every single time. It is staggering just how badly I miss it sometimes. Legendary bait. Hello. That's pretty cool. I got an XP magnet augment. That's kind of neat. But yeah, chatters, I think the noise spooked me. I think it was meant to be a speedy hook, but I just didn't wait long enough. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. Especially because one thing that I really don't miss about working in entertainment is I don't miss having my every single Friday and Saturday taken up by my work schedule. And that's the sort of thing that happens a lot when you're in the entertainment industry. I don't miss that. I don't miss having the job follow me home. I don't miss the frankly monumental amounts of stress I was under constantly with it. The chatters. Oh, the energy, the vibe of performance, the late night Denny's runs, and the I don't know, everyone being part of this big production kind of thing. It's so alluring. Checked in? I'll take a look. And I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, chatters. I'm gonna catch that daisy pike. Mango juice, let's go! That looks so good, friend. And the flatbread too. I am NGL incredibly jealous. That sounds so good right now. Made it myself? Oh, nice. Epic, we love to see it. That's pretty pog. Okay, plus 20% strong hug, I will take it. Sounds pretty pog and neat and cool. It's called a roti. Ooh, I think I've had roti before. It's very tasty. I always want to be careful with trying to name flatbread when I see it, because I've had so many different kinds. Yeah, my mom makes it sometimes. Yeah. It's really good. One thing about humans, bread. Humans love to make a bread. It's one of the classic traits of humanity is bread making. But Charles, I don't know. I do not know what I'm gonna do with my life with that. 'Cause, you feel? It's like what I even do in the industry, because I don't know that I necessarily want to be, like, writing, producing anything. I did the stage manager thing, and that was, like, fine, but again, it's really stressful and everything, and I don't want to. I don't know. It's real tough out here, is what I'm gonna say. And it's like, realistically, I know that doing things like bookkeeping work is probably not going to keep me mentally creatively satisfied forever. Right, that's just a thing that I think I will get fed up with at some point. I don't know. It's like, what else am I gonna do, you know? When talking to a ton of people in really unique creative fields, there are more options than you think. If you want to put things out there, help do so. And I know that. Like, I know that, and I agree. In fact, I very much so agree. If that's something if you ever want, there's no pressure. Yeah. I thank you. I'm hoping library does it for me. Yeah. I'm just always how to say words. If I let myself think about it too seriously, I might do something drastic, you know? I don't know. And the problem is that all of that is so much work, and I really do yep. Oh, hello. Thorn Chiclet, 2-star, very nice. No, it's, I want to leave space for things like D&D and writing and streaming and hanging out with friends and going on vacations and all the things, but just every single time I'm going to a play tonight, and I'm fully expecting to leave there devastated at how I am not part of it. I don't It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna be fine. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna be okay. Sometimes people ask me what my career aspirations are, and I have to say I have to say that I don't super have any, because if I get into it, I might do something drastic. I don't know. We're fine. We're fine. Totally fine. There's no problems here. Yeah, chatters, it's rough out here, to say the least. I think is the most I can say about that. Is that I'm thinking real hard about a lot of things. It's difficult. It's really genuinely very, very difficult to navigate all of this. Played at the spot right when I've got 42 seconds left. Come on. Insane behavior. I'm probably not gonna find anything before the tide changes. So that's your little look into the Quimby mindset today. Is that I am racked with indecision about the future. I feel like you guys do this. I feel like this is something I talk about so often that it really shouldn't be a surprise anymore. But I guess in case you didn't know. My sunken swamp. We got plenty of time. I mean, absolutely we do. Oh, whoa, it's greedy on both spots. I'm gonna stay here on Floral then, but I do want to stop by the Monger of Fishes. 35k. Sheesh. If only I had some pearls to back this up, if you know what I mean. That'd be great. That'd be really cool. That'd be kind of epic. I've got so many tokens and nothing to do with them. I think I've got enough pearls that I could comfortably make like 2 polished pearls. I really want to get to fishing level 20, but I'm just so worried that without being able to make meaningful progress in my upgrades and stuff, that we're not gonna manage it. I really would. Oh wait, click to show advanced info. Nope, that's not what I want. I want more info about the upgrade cost, actually. Okay, let's see. I mean, I could potentially... I think I have like 40 pearls. I could burn 30 of them to get 3 polished pearls. And then get a strong hook upgrade. I think... Yeah, I think I'd like to do that. Devastating. How do I get more advanced? How do I... okay, whatever. I'm purchasing 3 polished pearls. And I will be burning them immediately for this strong hook upgrade. Yep. The other thing that I'm thinking about, and I'd need many more pearls on this, is trying to get the next level on overclock. Like, if I've got this many angler tokens just hanging out, then I may as well, right? I mean, I guess I could repair my spirit lure, but I'd want a lucky tide if I was going to do that. So I think we're gonna hang out for a second on that. I would love to do this, but I need polished pearls for that. Woo! I need pearls so badly. Well, you know, there's a ton of greedy spots out here. I think I remember seeing some, but there's 20% greedy hook over there. You know what? My treasure chance is so abysmally low that I don't think that this is going to actually do anything, but we may as well, right? We may as well. So let's change this to a greedy hook. And you know what? Let's change this to treasure magnet, because why not? And let's keep fishing. Oh, currents change in 11 minutes. That'll be nice. You know what else would be nice? Going to a grotto and fishing up some pearls. Sorry, it's frustrating. Don't worry about it. Should we keep reading The Secret Garden? I'm gonna pull out The Secret Garden again. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Mary asked no more questions, but waited in the darkness of her corner, keeping her eyes on the window. The carriage lamps cast rays of light a little distance ahead of them, and she caught glimpses of the things they passed. After they had left the station, they had driven through a tiny village, and she had seen whitewashed cottages and the lights of a public house. Then they had passed a church and a vicarage, and a little shop window or so in a cottage with toys and sweets and odd things set up for sale. Well, I've immediately swallowed weird. Let me drink some water. Gotta stay hydrated. Okay. Sweets and all things set for sale. Then they were on the high road, and she saw hedges and trees. After that, there seemed nothing different for a long time, or at least it seemed a long time to her. At last, the horses began to go more slowly, as if they were climbing uphill, and presently there seemed to be no more hedges and no more trees. She could see nothing, in fact, but a dense darkness on either side. She leaned forward and pressed her face against the window just as the carriage gave a big jolt. We're on the moor now, sure enough," said Mrs. Medlock. The carriage lamps shed a yellow light on a rough-looking road which seemed to be cut through bushes and low-growing things which ended in the great expanse of dark apparently spread out before and around them. A wind was rising and making a singular, wild, low rushing sound. It's not the sea, is it?" said Mary, looking round at her companion. "No, not it," said Mrs. Medlock. "Nor it isn't fields nor mountains. It's just miles and miles and miles of wild land that nothing grows on but heather and gorse and broom, and nothing lives on but wild ponies and sheep." "I feel as if it might be the sea, if there were water on it," said Mary. "It sounds just like the sea. It sounds like the sea just now." "That's the wind blowing through the bushes," Mrs. Medlock said. "It's a wild, dreary place, a dreary enough place for my mind, though there's plenty that likes it, particularly when the heather's in bloom." On and on they drove through the darkness, and though the rain stopped, the wind rushed by and whistled and made strange sounds. The road went up and down. Hello. Common treasure times 2. Let's go. No, that's not what I wanted to click. I was trying to click on this. Yee! Getting more greedy research done. Okay. Where were we? On and on they drove through the darkness, and though the rain stopped, the wind rushed by and whistled and made strange sounds. The road went up and down, and several times the carriage passed over a little bridge beneath which water rushed very fast with a great deal of noise. Mary felt as if the drive would never come to an end, and that the wide, bleak moor was a wide expanse of black ocean through which she was passing on a strip of dry land. "I don't like it," she said to herself. "I don't like it." And she pinched her thin lips more tightly together. The horses were climbing up a hilly piece of road when she first caught sight of a light. Mrs. Medlock saw it as soon as she did, and drew a long sigh of relief. I am glad to see that bit of light twinkling," she exclaimed. "It's the light in the lodge window. I shall get a good cup of tea after a bit, at all events." It was after a bit, as she said, for when the carriage passed through the park gates, there were still 2 miles of avenue to drive through, and the trees, which nearly met overhead, made it seem as if they were driving through a long, dark vault. They drove out of the vault into a clear space, and stopped before an immensely long but low-built house, which seemed to ramble around a stone court. At first Mary thought there were no lights at all in the windows, but as she got out of the carriage she saw that one room in a corner upstairs showed the dull glow. The entrance door was a huge one made of a massive, curiously... Wow, I can talk. The entrance door was a huge one made of massive, curiously shaped panels of oak studded with big iron nails and bound with great iron bars. It opened into an enormous hall, which was so dimly lighted that the faces and the portraits on the walls and the figures in the suits of armor made Mary feel that she did not want to look at them. As she stood on the stone floor, she looked a very small, odd little black figure, and she felt as small and lost and odd as she looked. A neat, thin old man stood near the manservant who opened the door for them. "You are to take her to her room," he said in a husky voice. "He doesn't want to see her. He's going to London in the morning." "Very well, Mr. Pitcher," Mrs. Medlock answered. "So long as I know what's expected of me, I can manage." "What's expected of you, Mrs. Medlock," Mr. Pitcher said, "is that you make sure he's not disturbed and that he doesn't see what he doesn't want to see." And then Mary Lennox was led up a broad staircase and down a long corridor and up a short flight of steps and through another corridor and another until a door opened in a wall and she found herself in a room with a fire in it and a supper on a table. Mrs. Medlock said unceremoniously, "Well, here you are. This room and the next are where you'll live, and you must keep to them. Don't you forget that." It was in this way Mistress Mary arrived at Misselthwaite Manor, and she had perhaps never felt quite so contrary in all her life. Alright, that is the end of chapter 3. We're going to check on our treasure that we just got. Oh, I think I got 2 in there. Or I've forgotten to open at least one. That's silly of me. Don't worry about it. We stay silly. Ooh, legendary line. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Alright. Every time I zone back in from reading, I'm like, what? Was that new? Yeah, okay, that was new. I just hadn't looked at the previous ones we'd gotten. Yeah, okay. Goodness. We've been doing a lot of research on many things. You know what we haven't been doing is going to the sunken swamp. Are we at 4 times over on it at this point? Oh, not quite. But man. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's totally fine. Anyway. Chapter 4. Martha. When she opened her eyes in the morning, it was because the young housemaid had come into her room to light the fire and was kneeling on the hearthrug raking out the cinders noisily. Mary lay and watched her for a few moments, and then began to look about the room. She had never seen a room like it at all, and thought it curious and gloomy. The walls were covered with tapestry, with a forest scene embroidered on it. There were fantastically dressed people under the trees, and in the distance there was a glimpse of the turrets of a castle. There were hunters and horses and dogs and ladies. Mary felt as if she were in the forest with them. Out of a deep window she could see a great climbing stretch of land which seemed to have no trees on it, and to look rather like an endless, dull purplish sea. "What is that?" she said, pointing out of the window. Martha, the young housemaid, who had just risen to her feet, looked and pointed also. "That there?" she said. "Yes." "That's the moor," with a good-natured grin. "Does thou like it?" "No," answered Mary. "I hate it." "That's because thou'rt not used to it," Martha said, going back to her hearth. "Thou thinks it's too big and bare now. But thou will like it." "Do you?" inquired Mary. "Aye, that I do," answered Martha, cheerfully polishing away at the grate. "I just love it. It's none bare. It's covered with growing things, as smells sweet. It's very lovely in spring and summer, when the gorse and broom and heather's in flower. It smells of honey, and there's such a lot of fresh air. And the sky looks so high, and the bees and skylarks make such a nice noise humming and singing. I wouldn't live away from the moor for anything." This accent is... Oof. I think I'm done. I don't know what I said because something serious happened involving what I said. I'll explain later. Oh, bless. We are reading The Secret Garden. Because I want to read something while we're fishing. Mary listened to her with a grave, puzzled expression. The native servants she had been used to in India were not in the least like this. They were obsequious and servile and did not presume to talk to their masters as if they were equals. And remember, I do not approve of the unsavory depictions in this one. They made salams and called them protectors and protector of the poor and names of that sort. Indian servants were commanded to do things, not asked. It was not the custom to say please and thank you, and Mary had always slapped her eye in the face when she was angry. I do not approve. Where were we? She wondered a little what this girl would do if she slapped her in the face. She was a round, rosy, good-natured looking creature, but she had a sturdy way which made Mistress Mary wonder if she might not even slap back, if the person who slapped her was only a little girl. "You are a strange servant," she said from her pillows, rather haughtily. Martha sat up on her heels with her blacking brush in her hand and laughed without seeming the least out of temper. I know that," she said. "If there was a grand Mrs. Misselthwaite, I should never have been one of the under housemaids. I should never have been even one of the under housemaids. I might have been let to be a scullery maid, but I'd never been let upstairs. I'm too common and I talk too much Yorkshire. But this is a funny house for all it's so grand. Seems like there's neither master nor mistress except Mr. Pitcher and Mrs. Medlock. Mr. Craven, he won't be troubled about anything when he's here, and he's nearly always away. Mrs. Medlock gave me the place out of kindness. She told me she could never have done it if Mrs. Thwaite had been like any other big houses." "Are you going to be my servant?" Mary asked, still in her imperious little Indian way. Martha began to rub her grey again. "I'm Mrs. Medlock's servant," she said stoutly, "and she's Mr. Craven's. But I'm to do the housemaid's work up here and wait on you a bit. But you won't need much waiting on." "Who's going to dress me?" demanded Mary. Martha sat up on her heels again and stared. She spoke in broad Yorkshire in her amazement. "Canna thou dress thysen?" she said. "What do you mean? I don't understand your language," said Mary. I forgot," Martha said. "Mrs. Medlock..." Let me cast my line a couple times. Okay. "Mrs. Medlock told me I'd have to be careful you wouldn't know what I was saying. I mean, can't you put on your own clothes?" "No," answered Mary quite indignantly. "I never did in my life. My eye dressed me, of course." Oh, there goes my uncommon line. Let's... Whoop. "Well," said Martha, evidently not in the least aware that she was impudent. "It's time thou should learn. Thou cannot begin younger. It'll do thee good to wait on thy son a bit. My mother always said she couldn't see why grand people's children didn't turn out fair fools, what with nurses and being washed and dressed, and took out to walk as if they was puppies." "It is different in India," said Mistress Mary disdainfully. She could scarcely stand this. But Martha was not at all crushed. I can see it's different," she answered almost sympathetically. "I dare say it's because there's such a lot, I'm not saying that. She says something a little racist. Secret Garden, whoa. It has been years since I read this. Basically, let's paraphrase this. Martha says something about the color of the skin of the native people of India. Mary gets upset about that and calls her a daughter of a pig. Martha stared and looked hot. "Who are you calling names?" she said. "You needn't be so vexed. That's not the way for a young lady to talk. Nothing against the blacks. When you read about 'em in tracts, they're always very religious. You always read as a black man, a man's a brother. Wow. as a blacks a man as a brother. I have no idea what she means by that. I've never seen a black, and I was fair pleased to think I was going to see one close. When I come in to light your fire this morning, I crept up to your bed and pulled the cover back to look carefully at you. And there you was, disappointedly, no more black than me, for all you're so yeller. That's the thing about reading old classics sometimes. I'd like to throw in another obligatory I do not approve. Oh wow, and now Mary's going to call them not even people. We're just gonna skip a little bit. We're just gonna skip a couple paragraphs, shall we? Alright. She was in such a rage and felt so hopeless before the girl's simple stare, and somehow she felt so horribly lonely and far away from everything she understood and which understood her, that she threw herself downward on the pillows and burst into passionate sobbing. She sobbed so unrestrainedly that good-natured Yorkshire Martha was a little frightened and quite sorry for her. She went to the bed and bent over her. Dang, I know, right? I do wanna point out that I do think it's important to let books exist in the way that they were published, because it's important to not try to, you know, it's important to not try to, what's what I'm looking for? Censor the past. You know, this book was written at a time where, this book was written at a time where, quite frankly, I think a lot of the things that the author is saying were even considered quite progressive. And it's important that we, I love people never know. No, I want to discuss this because my sociologist brain is tingling. And it's important that we let it exist this way. And it's important that we talk about the things that are being said and the why and how that, you know, and the ways it's inappropriate. But I'm not gonna read it. It's just like, dang, wow, we just lived like this? Yeah, no, really. But I don't want to read it aloud personally because I just simply wouldn't, you know? I'm here on twitch.tv, fishing and fishing and reading and stuff, and we're just gonna not worry about that. Yeah, no, we just lived like that, huh? People were just saying things. It's insane. It's crazy out here. But I think, as far as I'm aware, that's the last of it. But even so, I think that might be enough secret garden for me for the day. Because much to think about. No, and that is the danger of reading classics, and also I guess of rereading things after you get a degree in social, like in a social science. I do still think that The Secret Garden is an absolutely fantastic book for a lot of the things that happen later in the story. Oh, that would have been a really nice spot to be fishing at. Oh, did the currents change? I feel like the currents might have changed in the middle of that. But yeah, I still think it's a very good book for a lot of the things that what they do with about like the relationship between spoiler alert, between Mary's cousin and her uncle, and how like what it means to be a father, what it means to, you know, to take care, like to take charge of one's own destiny and stuff. There's a lot of really fantastic things in the book, but is the unfortunate nature of the time and the setup of how the book is written that, yeah, that's not. There are some rather unsavory things said and perpetuated by the people in the book. Candybot wants me to take a little break. Which I am gonna do. I just want to find a fishing spot first. And stuff. Whoop. But I don't know. We live in a society, and a society that's changed a lot in many ways, arguably for the better. In the past 100 years, obviously it's not perfect, but like, I don't know. I don't approve of everything that the secret garden was saying, but it's wild having to, you know, yep. I'll just focus on that random person for a moment. The book or me, because I was the focus was me. I've got a key that I can press to in the game. Yeah, and well, that's a really good spot, but I'm looking for something glimmering. Isn't that Swirly Stick? Mm-hmm. Swirly Stick Pog. There's some cool cosmetics in this game. I've never really been one for cosmetics, but I like the way that they do it around here. There's some really good fishing spots, but nothing with glimmering. And I really desperately want pearls right now, so I would love something glimmering. Like, I'm getting 10% glimmering. I'm not getting anything with like pearl magnet or higher glimmering chance, which is unfortunate. Yeah, the current's definitely changed, and I just did not notice. I think the spot that I was at stayed the same, which is really funny that I was just there and didn't notice. Let's see, that's greedy, lucky. Also, we got more treasure than I thought we would from that spot. I think I fished up like 2 or 3 treasure chests. Small books, so despite having certain terms, are really good. Back then it was a little more tolerated, and people didn't make it as big a stink as today, but with how things are now, I can understand the anger. Well, I mean, again, I do think it's a really good book still. And a lot of the things that happen later in the book, like, and it's a very good book with a lot of good, like, social commentary and like good lessons for people to read and everything. But it's important for characters to have flaws. You know, like, you know, I'm not expecting Mistress Mary Quite Contrary to be a perfect little example of you know, the quote-unquote correct speech patterns. But it is wild, and especially because I don't think that is something that they do ever. Flaws they eventually grow up as their character develops. But I think it's bad because I don't think that that's something that ever gets addressed in the books. I don't think that they address the racism. And not to say that everything has to be, and then this book makes it clearly bad that happens. But it's that it exists in such a casual manner with no moral judgment. Necessarily. It's not the kind of thing I want to be reading on stream, at the very least. Yeah, like, flaws are important. It's important to not let characters be perfect things, and sometimes, you know, flaws will be there to tell you what sort of person a character is, and, you know, won't have any bearing on anything else other than that. But this I would argue is not that wasn't the author's intention. That's just how the world worked. Which is I think why it's pinging so strongly for me right now, is that's the author doesn't necessarily see anything wrong with what Mistress Mary Quite Contrary was saying, or her behavior, other than, you know, the fact that she's it's a sallow, disagreeable little girl. And it's like, wow, yeah, like, people just said stuff. And sometimes their intent is fault as well. Sometimes they keep it because characters do things that are normal at the time, and it's valuable to learn from regardless. Yeah, exactly. I want to be switching over to, my pearl stuff here. Okay. But man, we truly live in a society. Is my thoughts there. We, honest to goodness, are just, we're little society livers. Whoop, let me accidentally pull that hook back. I'd really love to go to a grotto right now. She's never chastised for being a racist little girl. She's got plenty of flaws, but that wasn't considered one by the writer, which is important to take as intended if we're going to learn from anything we've done since. Exactly. Exactly. It's yeah, it wasn't the author's intent for that to be a problem outside of the way that it teaches her to act towards other people, which is again an important and valuable take to learn from, but oh hello. All of that for a rough pearl. Sorry, all of those bars happening for a rough pearl? We'll get back to the conversation in just a second, but all of that for a rough pearl. I swear, sometimes it's wildin' out here. Yeah. I don't know. Many thoughts head full on that. A polished pearl. Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's good. That's good. We want the polished pearl. I just say it boils down to the perception of the individual reader. Like for me, I like Frankenstein, and for some reason I find myself in the shoes of the monster, and I'll be seen as a partner material because how he is otherwise treated as pride despite his desire to be accepted and loved. I mean, I think you're very valid in that, but I think there's a difference in what's pinging for me here with the Secret Garden and that, where the creature is meant to be a sympathetic character at the end of the day. Obviously is the antagonist, and the characters aren't thrilled about it, but the creature is like the creature does have flaws and everything. The message is very much within the intention of the book. And again, I don't think you're I don't think that you're wrong at all in your feelings about it, but I don't know, I think how to arrange my thoughts. It's that Mary's flaws here are only flaws to a modern audience in a lot of senses. Follow that brain from Abby Normal. Sorry, I know Frankenstein a little bit, but it's been a long time since I've engaged with it at all personally. Ever watched Young Frankenstein? I have not watched Young Frankenstein, no. I hear it's a classic though. I hear that a lot of people very much like it. So, maybe I should read it at some point. But, a greedy spirit. Alright, I need to find another glimmering spot. Oh gosh, every time there's like a creator rank in my lobby, I'm like, boo. Not that I think they're bad for being creators themselves. I just don't like to think about it. Basically, you were grabbed an abnormal brain and you belong to a genius named Abby Normal. I see. Ooh, that's 10% pearl magnet. That's what we want. But yeah, I've heard good things about Young Frankenstein. If I ever get around to watching things again, who knows? But I don't know. books and stuff. What am I gonna do with my one polished pearl that I got? I could try to save them up to try to get my overclocks leveled up. Like, I've got a lot of angler tokens right now. I think largely because I haven't been able to afford upgrades because of the pearl cost. So I guess I could keep my tokens for theoretically whenever the grotto thing gets patched, and then maybe see if I can do something with that. But I don't know. I don't know. I've got 76,000 Angler tokens just jingling around in my pockets. I want to do things with them. But I don't have the pearls. I don't have the pearls for it. So. Oh, hello. Uncommon treasure ×2. Nice. Sweet. Okay. That's also my pearl magnet. Oh, do I want to repair this? I don't know, actually. I don't know. I think if I were to do anything, I'd want to repair this with a lucky tide. So I guess we'll hold on to that for a second. Thoughts on Frankenstein, but perhaps not today. I think his creation is named Adam. To me. I feel like I've heard something about that before. Is that not part of the book? Oh, I'm really showing just how much I don't actually know Frankenstein all that well right now. I thought his name was Adam. I might be wrong about that. I might be silly and incorrect. But I could have sworn I remembered reading something about that. Huh. I like it. If it's not actual canon, I would believe it. That sounds pretty cool. But oh, Posh Pearl ×2. Chatters. Oh, Chatters, we stay winning. We stay winning forever. Okay, wait, did that give us anything? We could upgrade normally. No, okay. How do I get a pure glimmering spirit? Does Victor that I ought to be thy Adam in reference to the first of creation? A lonely creature begging for an Eve for recognition from God. Oh, that's pretty net. That's pretty nice. I actually quite that. I like that quite a lot, actually. That's it's pretty neat. Kinda neat. Kinda cool. Me dancing around saying kinda hot. I just think it's kinda neat. I just think it's kinda cool. So I have 3 polished pearls right now. If I get 2 more, I'll be able to... Something rare. It's just something Monster says, and I like to think it'd be his name if he had been allowed to choose one. Okay. That makes sense. Forgotten Crown, alright. That makes sense. I'm on board. It's headcanon, if nothing else. Big fan of that. Chatters, we've not been doing very well on the leveling up today. Like I got from level 17 to level 18. But I was pretty close to level 18 already. I'm trying to decide if I think that that's a function of not being able to go into grottos and stuff, or if I think that that's just, you know, the natural slowdown of having fished in both of my, both locations I have for so long, and for having the crab pots be out for a bit already, because we've gotten a decent number of trophies from the crab pots, but we've definitely started slowing down a lot on getting stuff from that too. The first time I got a big haul from the crab pots, I was getting trophies left and right, and that's kind of how it goes when you get a new island spot too, is just everything that you get is new. I have 1.5 levels until I hit level 20. And that is going to get me to a new location. At which point, theoretically, you know, it'll be continuing on from that point. Oh, hello, person walking past me. The question is, can we make it to level 20 alright without having grotto access? And I'm about to finish my streaming run until like Thursday, because I won't be able to be here tomorrow. So hopefully maybe something will get patched about that in the meantime. But I'm not willing to bet on it. So the question then remains. We simply don't know. Honestly, Honestly, I might see if I can do some offline fishing over the week if I feel up to it, to see if I can get closer to level 20, so that when we get back into the streaming week, maybe we'll be able to go to the new island a lot sooner. I think if I had grotto access, I think that it would be moving a lot faster to that point. Oh, Posh Pearl times 2! Oh, hello! Oh, hello. Chatters, I could upgrade my hook overclock. Or I could get my rod overclock and then some other upgrades over here. I have 5 polished pearls. Okay, let's finish. Oh, this fishing spot's depleted. That's why. I was like, why am I not fishing right now? It's because the fishing spot was depleted. I've got 2 more minutes of Glimmering Tide. I'm not expecting anything crazy from it, but I do think let's just see if we can find another spot to make the most of the rest of our time with it. Because if I could happen to end up with another pearl or two, that would be cool. I'm not expecting it, but also, you know, if I don't attempt it, I'm not gonna get anything, right? Except there really is just like no glimmering. Okay, there's something glimmering over here. That's a 10%. 10% will be fine right now. I will absolutely take a 10%. Let's just see if we can get anything. And then we'll decide what to do with my polished pearls. I've got 5 of them, chatters. Hook overclock could be nice, but it does just add 1 to it. Sorry, it means I get +2 to the stat that I'm overclocking. Whereas splitting up into some other upgrades would mean that I have more permanent effects. I do wonder if that's gonna be the smarter option. Is to lean into the options of getting as many upgrades as I can, as opposed to stronger upgrades all at once. Cause yeah, I just think that it might be more bang for my buck, you know? Like, there's no way. No, okay, let's consider some things. I've got the Wise Hook upgrade, which would require 3 of my 5 pearls. Glimmering Hook, which would require 2. Greedy Hook, which would require 1. And Lucky Hook, which would require 2. I've also got magnets. The Spirit Magnet would take 1. The Pearl Magnet would take 2. The Fish Magnet would take 2. And the XP Magnet would take 1. I think all of the rod upgrades that I have would take 1. Oh, except for the glitched rod upgrade, which just takes 3 polished pearls. Sorry, which takes 3 rough pearls, which I'm gonna get right now because there's just no reason not to. None of my pots can be upgraded right now. I really wish I knew how to get a glimmering spirit, a pure glimmering spirit, but it's fine. So I think maybe what I want is perhaps I mean, I'd love to do Stable Rod, but I'm just not doing Grottos right now. Let's see. Boosted Rod could be major. Doubles your elusive fish chance, pearl chance, treasure chance, fish chance, and wayfinder data for that catch. That's pretty cool. I think we are going to get Boosted Rod for sure. Other than that, I'm kind of thinking that maybe I go all in on trying to upgrade my pearl, my pearl things. Cause if I can just, considering that I can't get 100% chance of pearls with Grottos, I think I gotta try to stat in as much as possible to try to increase my chances of getting it outside of. Oh, and crown level up, whatever that means. Did I? No, okay, then yes, I want the Pearl Magna upgrade too. Okay. What are we at? Fishing level wise, 140 out of 200. That's not terrible. It's not terrible. We've been doing pretty well, and then did good on research too. But I think that is where we are going to end the stream for today. Oh, I'm gonna go to the fishmonger to turn my fish in, but I don't think I have anything too crazy. I wasn't really fishing for strong or anything there. We're gonna look at our crab pots. Oh, I got a rough pearl. That's pretty nice. I'm going to repair my crab pots for the offline season, and yeah, just quick gonna do that. And yeah, Charles, that's where we're gonna end things out. So I will be back on Thursday. I'm currently streaming Thursday and Friday, starting a little after 4 p.m. Eastern time, and then normally Saturday and Sunday a little after 1 p.m. Eastern time, but tomorrow I have book club, and I won't be able to make it here. So we'll resume later next week. Meantime, everyone take care of yourselves. You know, take a little walk, drink some water, take a nap, get a snack or something. Love you guys lots, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.